Hi everyone, welcome to STEAM Adventures here at the Anaheim Public Library. My name is Juan, and today we're going to do some fun experiments with candy. Now, this year's summer reading program theme is Reading Colors Your World. So that means we're going to learn about colors, we're going to learn about all sorts of fun stuff that involve colors and how we can do some science experiments with them. Now, you're probably wondering what we can do with candy. Well, there's a few things we can do, but all you're going to need is either M&Ms or Skittles, a plate, and some water. You're gonna need 2 cups of water. You're gonna need one that's cold or room temperature, or you're gonna need some that is hot. Straight out of the microwave can be just fine. Just be careful that it's not too hot. You don't wanna burn yourself. Now, let's get started. You're probably wondering, why are we using Skittles or M&M? The main reason is because both of these candies heavily use food dyes. Now, what are food dyes? Food dyes are chemical additives or natural additives that are added to food to either bring out a brighter or darker color or to change the color of the food altogether. One very big thing that I learned is that orange juice, like Sunny D, is not really that orange. They add food dye to Sunny D to make it look more orange. That way it pops out and looks more healthy, I guess, but it's really not. When you squeeze an orange juice, or orange juice out of an orange, it comes out clear and it's kind of like a murky orange. Now, another popular food dye, or thing that food dye is used on, is cupcakes, like red velvet. Red velvet cupcakes are hardly ever red velvet cake. In fact, more than likely, they are just chocolate cake dyed red. So next time you order a red velvet cupcake, watch out, they like to trick you. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna add water to both of these candies. Now, one of them is gonna be cold and one of them is gonna be hot. What's gonna happen is we're gonna see what happens when you introduce 2 different temperatures to different types of objects. So, now that we know what we're gonna do, let's get started. Now, what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna get a plate like this that's kinda a little bit, there's edges on the sides so that way the water doesn't overflow, but it can still flow inside to the middle, so that's fine. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna line your Skittles or M&Ms all around the edge of the plate. Then what you're gonna do is we're gonna start with cold or room temperature water first, and we're gonna see what happens when we add it to the Skittles / M&Ms. Now, if you're watching carefully, you're gonna see how there's suddenly color on the plate coming from Skittles or M&Ms. Now, if I pour directly onto an M&M or Skittle, the food coloring will come off more. This is because the water is diluting it. So diluting means it's taking away some of the core principles. I mean, there's still some color in there. I mean, if you look right here, it's really dark. And so it's also dissolving the food coloring. Typically, this would be done with when you're eating these, your saliva would dilute the food coloring, and so would any food, any stuff in your stomach would too as well. Now, here's a little fun thing that you might want to try. But if you were to get several of these colors, so several of orange Skittles or M&Ms, and put them in a cup of water and let them sit overnight, your water's going to turn orange, and you can use that to make some food color water dye. It's not going to be as strong. You're going to need a lot of blue M&Ms or green M&Ms to get that. Now, let's move on to the hot water and see what happens. Now, on to the second part of the activity. So what you're going to do is you're going to get hot water that you either got from the hot tap on your sink, or by placing water and placing it in the microwave for about 30 seconds or so. That'll turn it hot enough. Again, do be careful. This is hot water. And we're going to pour it over the M&Ms / Skittles again to see if there's any difference. And so far, it's looking like the hot water is actually bringing out the color a lot more. Look at how it all looks. Look how there's a mixture of green, orange, and red / purple over here. There's a little blue right here. In fact, it almost looks kind of like a rainbow. Hey, that looks like a little heart right here. That's cool. Now, I'm feeling a little bit more adventurous / experimentatious because I want to see if I could turn these green M&Ms into food color watercolors, just like the last one. See if adding them to warm water will make a difference. Now, because there's no pouring, it's not going to dissolve fast enough, because when I poured it over, it actually helped dissolve the water. So I'm going to just stir these a little bit. If you look, let me pull out an M&M. The hard shell is now melted, exposing the chocolate inside. Now here's a little fun fact. M&Ms used to be only exclusive to the US Army and US Marines during World War II. That's because M&Ms are so hard to melt that you could take them anywhere, like let's say the jungle where it's always hot, and you won't have to worry about your M&Ms melting. And it wasn't until after World War II that people like you and me could enjoy these. Isn't that neat? Now let's go see if this watercolor works or not on this paper. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it took. I think that if I had a whole box filled of green M&Ms or Skittles, maybe it would work. But unfortunately, there's just not enough food dye that it can stick out and be on the paper. Now, if you enjoyed those experiments, there's actually a lot more you can do. In fact, instead of using water, you can use milk. You can use hot milk, cold milk. Either way, because the milk is white, the colors will pop up more vibrantly. Now, another experiment you can try is that what if you add soap? Now, these are just some of the experiments that we were unable to do, but we welcome you to try all of them. Now, if you do any of these experiments, we would love to see your beautiful creations. And if you could just tag us on the Anaheim Public Library Facebook or Instagram using the hashtag AnaheimSteam, we would love to see them. Now, I hope you had a wonderful time with us, and I hope to see you next time. Have a great day. Bye-bye.